I think it hit you at like 20. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and happy Sunday to you all. Welcome to Dre Broadcasting Network, as we are pleased to bring you live coverage from New Hampshire Motor Speedway with the Precision Racing League. This is the Team Budweiser 135 by the number 5 of Jason Ashby from Team Budweiser. This marks race number 3 of the PRL United Armed Services Oval Series, sponsored by the 092 of Dean Stone from Walkabout Motorsports. I am your commentator, Sean Zulu, and I am joined by my good friend and cameraman, Dave Everly. How are you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Sean?
I am doing good too, thank you. Well, Dave, tonight we have an amazing race coming to us here live from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Well, Dave, start off by telling us about tonight's race, please.
Well, Sean, as you said, we are at New Hampshire Motors. It looks like current temperature-wise, we have right about an 83 degree air temperature with a track temperature of 108 degrees. The humidity is currently at 51% and under partly cloudy conditions.
Absolutely, Dave. That is very, very high temperature right there. That means these guys are going to have to conserve their tires in order to be able to make it all the way. And these guys still do have a 60% fuel limit. That is 60%. That does mean that they're going to have to pit at least once in order to be able to make it, because it's a 135 lap race, and that is 135. And right in front of me is last week's top 5 from Daytona. We had the 24 of Corey Blevins bring it home. The 87 of Justin Michael came out in second place, tied for second place with the 14 of Cody Johnson. And the 911 of John LaBeouf came out in 4th place. And the 27 of Danny Duchesne came out in 5th place. In our current standings, we do have the 24 of Corey Blevins in the lead, with the 18 of Travis Browder right behind him. The 911 of John LaBeouf is in 3rd place. Brennan Massey in 4th place. And Jeffrey Ford in 5th place. And that is the top 5 currently in the season standings. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Team Budweiser 135 by the number 5 of Jason Ashby from Team Budweiser. And this is the Precision Racing League United Armed Services Oval Series, sponsored by the 092 of Dean Stone. And Dave, currently we do have these guys qualifying, so let's try and focus on one of the drivers out there, just so we can watch how they get around how to be fast around the track during qualifying.
Well, we are going to keep an eye here on the 6 of Stephen Maddox as he is putting down his lap time here. Not sure if this is his last lap, but it looks like he is keeping up pretty good speed here as he is coming through the turns. So actually it looks like he may be slowing down. Nope, he is going to go for one more lap around the track. Currently on the pole we have the 66 of Charles Paratus.
And Steven Mattox here exiting turn 4 to complete lap number 1. Let's see where it puts him. That did give him a 30.600, and that is the pole right there, Dave. And by the looks of it, all drivers are pretty much putting down at least one lap, because the first lap is most likely or usually the fastest at a track like this.
Yeah, most definitely. With this just being a mile track here, that's definitely a good possibility here, Sean. So these guys know that, as we've only got a few more calls.
And looks like we have about 1 minute remaining until qualifying ends into gridding mode, and that is now 55 seconds. And Dave, these guys are running 30-second lap times, but with the tire wear tonight, you should pretty much see 2 seconds slower than that once those tires start kicking in the long run tonight.
Yeah, most definitely, Sean. So we should see, with this being a short track, we should see some bumping and grinding here, as these guys, as they said here, if you're not bumping, you're not racing. So should make for a very fun and interesting race here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Looks like we have only 15 seconds remaining here until qualifying ends and to advance into gridding mode, and that is 7 seconds now. Oh, and by the looks of it, it looks like I got the results from last week's Daytona race wrong. I apologize. Those were the qualifying times. The results, we had Curtis Aho finish in first place, Dale Robertson in second place, Justin Michael in third place, tying with the 4 of Sammy Holmes, and Corey Blevins in fourth, and the 6 of Cotton Lane in fifth place. It looks like gridding has now begun, so we are going to give these guys a few seconds to finish gridding up before we start going down that list. So we do have the 6 of Stephen Mattox on the pole in first place, leading the bottom lane. The 66 of Charles Paradis to his right, leading the outside line in second place. The 87 of Justin Michael starting in third place, second place on the bottom lane. The 8 of Stephen Aguiar starting in fourth place, second place on the outside. And the 7 of Dallas Pataska starting in fifth place.
Starting in 6 is going to be the 5 of Jason Ashby. Starting in 7th, the 28 of Eric Roberts. Starting in 8th, the 16 of Curtis Aho. Starting in 9th, the 654 of Josh Conker. Starting in 10th position will be last season's champion, the 1 of James O'Brien.
The 13 of Jean-Francois Champagne starting in 11th place. The 24 of Corey Blevins, our current season standings leader, starting in 12th place. The 27 of Danny Duchesne starting in 13th place. The 21 of Trevor White in 14th. And the 95 of Jeffrey Ford in 15th.
Starting 16th will be the 14 of Paul DeJohn. 22 of Jack Price will be starting 17th. Starting 18th, the 41 of Chris Perez. Starting in 19th will be the 60 of Colton Lane. Starting 20th, the 911 of John LaBeouf.
55 of Karsten Quint in 21st. The 3 of Dale Robertson in 22nd. A 45 of Eddie Hawks in 23rd, 78 of Ronald McManus in 24th, the 18 of Travis Brada 25th, the 11 of Brandon Massey 26th, the 4 of Sammy Holmes 27th, the 40 of Aaron R. Grosskopf in 28th, the 44 of Randy Coldwell in 29th, the 9 of Austin Moore in 30th, the 10 of Lance Marsh in 31st, 59 of David White in 32nd, and the 092 of Dean Stone in 33rd. Well, Dave, looks like these guys are rolling. The pace car is off this time by going green for the first time. That 6 of Mattox gonna put the gas pedal down. The green flag flies. It puts it down. The 7 of Justin Michael right on his rear end. The 66 of Charles Paradis did not get a good start as he was caught sleeping quite a bit. That 8 of Stephen Aguiar battling the 7 of Dallas Pataska side by side into turns number 1 and 2 here. As the 7 of Justin Michael falls short on the inside line. Well, the 66 of Charles Paradis is all over the 6 of Mattox exiting turn 2. Already, Dave, we have a battle for the race lead between the 87 of Justin Michael and the 6 of Stephen Mattox. So they're going to be side by side here exiting turn 4. Let's see who has the custom start finish line. The 6 of Mattox has the better race line, better exit there. It's going to still lead here on lap number 2, but the 87 of Justin Michael still challenging, entering turn number 1. It's going to make the pass successfully, exiting turn 2.
Yeah, it looks like Justin Michael was using that inside lane, was able to get to the inside there, Stephen Maddox, and make that pass. But here comes Stephen Maddox trying to get to that inside there of the 87 machine of Justin Michael, but just is not able to get there. But he looks like he's starting to propel as he gets right to that back bumper there on the front stretch.
And we have some more battles going on further back. The 8 of Stephen Aguiar makes 100. The 66 of Charles Paradis. They're going to go sideways in 2 turns, number 3 and 4. Actually, that's turns number 1 and 2. And the caution is out. Well, that did start with the 8 of Stephen Aguiar making contact with the 66 of Charles Paradis.
As we go back to our Dre Broadcasting Network instant replay, we are going to focus on the 8 of Stephen Maddox here. Stephen Aguiar, I'm sorry, as he makes a move to the inside of the 66 of Paradas, just slides up a little, ever so much into him, and then also slides out right in front of the 7 machine, and that is going to have heavy front end damage to the 7 machine as well.
Well, Dave, that's very unfortunate for all these drivers involved. The 7 of Dallas Patasco, the 8 of Stephen Aguiar, and also that was the 66 of Charles Paradis. And these guys do not have any backup cars, so that means that that's more work for the pit crew to try and beat those things out. Hopefully they have enough time to beat it out so they can still be able to stay competitive once they get some damage fixed. But currently in the race lead, Dave, we do have the 87 of Justin Michael, and in second place the 6 of Stephen Mattox, who is going down pit road this time by as we speak.
Yeah, it definitely looks like we have a few cars here on pit road here, even though this is just lap 4 of 135. Looks like we got the 6 of Stephen Maddox, the 16 of Curtis Aho, the 28 of Eric Roberts, the 13 of Jean-Francois Champagne, the 27 of Danny Deshane, the 95 of Jeffrey Ford, 78 of Ronald McManus, Dallas Patasca, Charles Paradis, and a whole bunch more made their way down onto pit road here. They're trying to shake up the pit strategy, I think, Sean.
Oh, absolutely, Dave. And just like you had said, it's very early. You know, you had said it was lap 4, and now it's just lap 5. And we know the 6 of Stephen Mattox and the 87 of Justin Michael were battling early on in the race as soon as that green flag had flown. So I'm pretty sure they burned those tires quite a bit. But the 6 of Mattox is the only one who went down pit road, while the 87 of Justin Michael decides to stay out. And right now the 6 of Stephen Mattox is being shown way behind the pack. So Dave, it's going to be interesting to see how that affects the strategies of these guys, or how that affects the way these guys are going to run throughout the entire race from now on. And looks like the lights in the pace car are still on, so we are going to try and get a race interview in with our current race leader, the 87 of Justin Michael. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have our current race leader, the 87 of Justin Michael. Get a copy there, Justin.
Hey, Sean, how are you?
Good, how are you, buddy?
Good.
Well, Justin, you did start in third place tonight, and as soon as that green flag had flown, you gave your bumper to the 6 of Stephen Mattox to take over that race lead, and you did so successfully on lap number 2. Tell us what's on your mind, buddy.
I just wanted to get to front as quick as possible on fresh tires, because passing is really hard here after about 10 laps or so, wanted to get in position early.
Oh, 10-4, Justin. And Justin, this track is very flat, and from what when I've talked to you in the past, you don't like this track due to the fact that it has no banking. It's very flat. Do you think tire wear is gonna play a very key factor against you guys tonight?
It definitely will, just because setup's a little tight, so you're just gonna burn the right front off over the run. I mean, we're running half fuel too, so that makes it even tighter. So I'm not sure exactly how long a tank is, but we might have 1 or 2 stops this race probably, if it goes green.
Oh, copy that, Justin. And Justin, if it does go green, do you plan on taking 2 tires or maybe just 4?
No, it'll be 4.
Oh, 10-4, buddy. Well, Justin, we do wish you the best of luck. You guys are now 1 to green. You are controlling this restart here on lap number 7. So good luck to you, buddy, and see you later on.
Thanks, Sean. Have a good one.
That was our current race leader, the 87 of Justin Michael, and they are now 1 to green here, entering turns number 3 and 4, going green for the second time, this time by.
Well, as the pace car now brings him here through turns 3 and 4, you have the 87 of Justin Michael controlling the restart. He's got the 5 of Jason Ashby on his outside, and looks like 87 of Justin Michael gets hard. As soon as that pace car is off, he gets a good jump there, gets in front of the 5 of Jason Ashby, as they are now working their way down into turn number 1.
The 21 of Trevor White trying to apply pressure to the 14 of Cody Johnson side by side, exiting turn 2. The 21 of White is able to hold on to 6th position, keeping the 14 of Johnson in 7th place. But in front of them, we do have the 24 of Corey Blevins going sideways, was sideways exiting turn 2 right now, getting some pressure on 654 of Josh Conker exiting turn 4 throughout the front stretch. Another battle going on behind them. Yes, it is a 21 of Trevor White and the 14 of Johnson. Johnson is going to propel. He exiting turn number 2, but nope, the 21 of White is going to put the hammer down. He's going to get past the 14 of Johnson once again, keep him in 7th place. And further back in the pack, Dave, we have a little bit of a cluster going on here. It's between the 60 of Cotton Lane and 45 of Eddie Hawks, who does seem to already have some left front damage on the 45 Chevy Camaro.
Well, Sean, it is a short track, so you are going to get that damage no matter what here. But it looks like the 60 of Colton Lane was able to get around him here. As these guys up front, looks like they're all kind of riding single file here. As these guys in the back are trying to get around this traffic to try, as Justin said, it's definitely hard to pass here at New Hampshire. So these guys are definitely bound trying to make up as many positions as they can. But it's still a long race. We're only on lap 10 of 135. We still have 125 laps remaining.
And Dave, speaking of making time, we do have the 6 of Steven Mattox getting as many. He makes contact. The 45 of Eddie Hawks goes sideways here, exiting turn 2. He's going to get passed by pretty much everybody. The 95 of Jeffrey Ford, 27 of Donnie Duchesne, and the 16 of Curtis Aho has to back it down to avoid causing trouble.
Well, Sean, that's good track awareness by all them drivers, is to be able to let the 6 of Maddox get back up. As the 16 of Curtis Aho, last week's race winner, is now working on the back bumper there of Maddox, trying to get around him with the help of the 66 machine of Charles Paradas.
That 95 of Jeffrey Ford applying pressure to the 27 of Duchesne, but he gets loose exiting turn 2. He's going to be taken 2 wide or 3 wide by the 16 of Curtis Aho and the 6 of Mattox, who make the pass successfully on him. And now he has the 66 of Charles Paradas on his outside line, trying to take it away as well. 95 of Jeffrey Ford still running the inside line. He's not letting the 66 of Charles Paradas go. The 16 of Al is going to go sideways into turns number 2. He's going to be spun out. He's blocking the track, gets hit by the 092 of Dean Stone. Wouldn't have enough time to react.
Well, Sean, we are going to go back here, focus on the 16 of Curtis Aho on our Dre Broadcasting Network instant replay here. Is we are going to focus on the 16 of Curtis Aho. Looks like the 16 of Curtis Aho is running that outside line there. The 6 of Steven Maddox comes up in front of him. Coming into the turn there, it looks like he makes a little bit of contact, gets hard on them brakes to try to avoid hitting the 6 of Maddox, gets up into that wall, and as you said, the 092 of Dean Stone had nowhere to go and unfortunately made contact with him.
That's very, very unfortunate day for all those drivers involved. And right now, the 16 of Curtis Aho is on pit road getting some damage fixed. And that Ford Mustang is not in the best shape at the moment because it was beat quite a bit after he smacked that wall and made contact with 2 other cars, and the 092 of Stone being one of those drivers. And right now, we have the 87 of Justin Michael leading the whole entire pack down pit road. He is being followed, but we have one driver staying out behind the pace car. It is the 5 of Jason Ashby from Team Budweiser, who is tonight's race sponsor, the Team Budweiser 135. And we have one driver getting the lucky dog. That is the 18 of Travis Browder. Travis Browder currently being shown in 32nd place. 4 laps down. He's going to be now 3 laps down. He goes sideways. Oh man, he goes sideways into turns number 3, but he's able to hang on to it. That was a nice save by Travis. Well, Dave, this track is very, very flat. They don't have the banking to help these cars rotate in those turns. So this actually is more work for the drivers.
Yeah, most definitely, Sean, is we've got a new race leader, the 5 of Jason Ashby, who looks like he stayed out just to lead a lap here as he's now making his way down onto pit road. That is going to hand that race lead back over to the 87 machine of Justin Michael in that Toyota Camry. Oh, I'm sorry, the new race leader is going to be the 45 of Eddie Hawks. He is going to be our new race leader.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to try and get a race interview in with our tonight's race sponsor, the 5 of Jason Ashby. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have the 5 of Jason Ashby up here with us. Get a copy there, Jason.
Hey, I got you, Sean.
How you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing great, man. How are you?
I am doing good too, thank you. Well, Jason, we noticed that you did stay out one extra lap out there to lead a lap, and then went down pit road and got 4 tires and a full tank of gas. Tell us about your race so far, buddy.
So far, so good. Was hanging up there in the front, but my car started pushing really bad, so I figured I'd lead a lap and then come back here and just start trying to make some brake bias adjustments and stuff.
Oh, 10-4, Jason. And Jason, what's your strategy from tonight? Is it to just ride and save tires, or maybe just go for it while we have fresh tires?
I had a couple bad races here lately, so I'm just going to try to buy my time, stay out of trouble, and hopefully get a top 10.
Oh, 10-4, Jason. And Jason, tonight, do you think it's possible to save tires, or there's no way?
It just depends on where you're at. If you're in a bunch of pack, it's very difficult because everybody's leaning on each other, so you'll be using up more tire. But you know, if you take it easy, you can save some.
Oh, copy that, Jason. Well, Jason, you guys are now 1-2 green, and you're currently being shown here in 25th position. You have a great strategy in mind. They're trying to stay out of trouble so you can be here in the long run. So good luck to you, buddy, and make us proud.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Thanks. You guys have a good night.
That was the 5 of Jason Ashby. And right now we do have the pack entering turns number 3 and 4 going green for the 3rd time, this time by on lap number 17. The pace car is off the 8 of Aguirre, puts it down immediately. The 22 of Jack Price sees it coming, and so does the 87 of Justin Michael. There's quite the gap in between or among these 3 drivers, but the 87 of Justin Michael is side by side. The 22 of Jack Price entering turn 1 makes the pass successfully, exiting turn 2. The 22 of Jack Price is trying to do the over and under, but does not have enough room to do it, and has no choice but to back it down and accept 3rd place. And already Dave, the 87 of Justin Michael, applying pressure to the 8 of Aguirre, who goes way wide into turns 3 and 4, allowing room for the 87 of Justin Michael to make the pass successfully and takes back the race lead here on lap number 19. The battle for 3rd place between the 22 of Jack Price and the 1 of James O'Brien, but the 22 of Price propels exiting turn 2, keeping the 1 of James O'Brien in 4th place. And now he tosses it into the inside of the 8 of Steven Aguirre into turns 3. They're going to go 3 wide here into turn 3. The 1 of James O'Brien is in the middle. They're going to keep the 8 of Steven Aguirre, bump him down into 4th place. The 1 of James O'Brien still battling side by side with the 22 of Jack Price. The 1 of O'Brien propels exiting turn 2 and keeps the 22 of Jack Price, so bumps him down into 3rd place while he bumped himself up into 2nd place. .654 of Josh Conker being challenged by the 14 of Paul D. Johnson. They're going to go single file here exiting turn 4 on the front stretch as the 654 of Conker is trying to challenge the 8 of Aguirre. Well, Dave Aguirre seems to be going from front to back really quickly. I'm not sure if he's trying to maybe back it down to try and save tires, or maybe his car is not allowing him to go as fast as everybody else.
Yeah, it looks like they're pushing him down on that inside lane there, so he's just not able to get the good run off of the corner that everybody is using that middle lane. So, but he has fallen back now into, looks like, back into 5th position, so he's still in the top 5. Actually, he just fell back to 6th there, or 7th, so he has fallen back, but he may, like as you said, he may be saving tires, trying to conserve his tires for the end of the race.
Absolutely, Dave. That would be a very, very good strategy because we do still have a long way to go. Once again, this is a 135 lap race. That is 135 laps, and this is only lap number 22. Crossing the start finish line to be on lap 23, and they still do have to make, I believe, at least 2 pit stops in order to be able to make it all the way tonight. And going back up front, Dave, we still have the 18 of Justin Michael in the race lead, but he does have the 1 of James O'Brien right behind him. Looks like that gap is about 0.7 seconds and decreasing.
Yeah, as we ride out here on the in-car of the 1 machine of James O'Brien, we look at, he's running a little bit of a different line there, but he is kind of keeping that gap consistent here. As it looks like last time around, looks like James O'Brien and Justin Michael ran just about an identical lap time.
And Dave, that's what I've noticed about the one of James O'Brien in all these races, that his lines do change as the races go on. So right now, just like you had said, he's running a different line compared to the same of Justin Michael, but he's gonna keep changing them until he finds his sweet spot. And by the looks of it, he lost a little bit of time this lap to the same of Justin Michael. At the same time, both drivers are pulling away from the rest of the pack. In third place is the 24 of Corey Blevins, to the 654 of Josh Conker in fourth place. 654 Josh Conker sideways exiting turn 2, is able to hang on to it, lost a little bit of time to 24 of Corey Blevins, and the 22 of Jack Price caught up to him when he did that power slide. They make contact exiting turn 3 and 4. 654 Conker hard into the wall after being spun by the 22 of Jack Price by accident. The caution is out.
Well, Sean, we are going to go here to our Dre Broadcasting Network instant replay here, focusing on the 654 of Josh Conker here, as we saw him and the 22 machine make contact. As we see the 22 of Jack Price there kind of look to the inside of him, as the 654 was trying to ride that middle to high line there, and it just looks like there was just a little contact made here coming on the exit of the turn, which allowed the 22 of Jack Price to make contact with him, get the 654 of Josh Conker sideways, and he looks like he overcorrected a little bit and shot right back up into the wall. But it does look like everybody else is able to get around him cleanly.
Oh, Dave, that's very, very unfortunate for the 654 of Josh Conker. That was definitely some hard racing between those two drivers, and unfortunately the 654 of Conker did overcorrect, just like you had pointed out, and he does seem to only have rear end damage and not any damage in the front end, so that's a good thing. And right now he's going down pit road to get some service on 654 machine. And Dave, we do have a new leader, the 22 of Jack Price, and one driver getting the lucky dog. That's the 11 of Brandon Massey. Brandon Massey back on the lead lap in 29th place. Great job by him. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is lap 27 of a 135 lap race. We're going to take a quick commercial break so you guys can get a review of your popcorn and refreshments. We'll be right back, so stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the PRL United Armed Services Oval Series, sponsored by the 092 of Dean Stone from Walkabout Motorsports. Tonight's race is entitled Team Budweiser 135, courtesy of the number 5 of Jason Ashby. Well, Dave, this is race number 3 of a 12 race series, and right now we are 1 to green. We do have the 22 of Jack Price controlling this start, but he's the only driver to stay out on old tires, so he does have 15 laps on his tires, while everybody else has 3 laps and less on their tires. So let's see how this affects him. He is controlling this start.
Well, as the pace car now brings him out of turn number 4, The 87 of Justin Michael is on the outside of Jack Price. Jack Price jumps that start, gets hard on that throttle. The 87 of Justin Michael tries to judge it, but is not, as the 1 of James O'Brien is going to get to his inside here into turn number 1.
Gonna be side by side through turns 1 and 2. They're coming up on a slower car, just got out of the pits. Looks like it's a 66 actually it's a 16 of Curtis Aho. That Ford Mustang not looking too good, but he is still out there in it to win it, trying to gain as many points as possible. Going back up front, we do have a 87 of Justin Michael battling side by side with the 1 of James O'Brien, side by side exiting turn 4. They're gonna stay side by side, but 22 of Jack Price is still gonna lead. 87 of Justin Michael gonna give a push to the 22 of Jack Price, gonna spin him into turns number 1. Gonna go sideways hard into the wall. The caution is out. Looks like he gave him just a little bit of a bump entering the turns number 3 or turns number 1, and that did put him sideways.
As we go back here and take a look, we are going to focus on Justin Michael here to see exactly what happened. Well, it just looks like he could not get slowed down there in enough time for the 22 of Jack Price and gave him a little shove there on that back bumper, which got him around.
And unfortunately, that did involve the 13 of Jean-Francois Champagne, the 6 of Stephen Mattox, and the 3 of Dale Robertson as well. But going back up front, we do have a new leader. That's the 1 of James O'Brien. The 10 of Justin Michael is currently in 2nd place. The 24 of Corey Blevins being shown in 3rd place. The 14 of Paul D. Johnson in 4th. And the 27 of Danny Duchesne in 5th place. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to interview our current race leader, the 1 of James O'Brien, last season's champion. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have our current race leader, the 1 of James O'Brien. Got a copy there, James?
Yes, sir.
How you doing tonight, buddy?
Not bad. How are you guys?
Doing good too, thank you. Well, James, you're doing a great job out there. You started in 10th place, qualified in 10th, and you're currently in the race lead. And by the looks of it, you were battling really hard with the 87 of Justin Michael, the 24 of Corey Blevins, and all the drivers who are in your way to get up to the front. Tell us about your race so far, buddy.
I'm just trying to be patient, not trying to force anything. It seems like a lot of aggressive driving, but I'm really just trying to be defensive.
Oh, 10-4, James, and so far it is working out in your favor. And do you have a pit strategy in mind, or just gonna pretty much go with the flow?
Kind of both. I know what I need to do, but it's probably not going to happen because of all the cautions.
Oh, 10-4, James. And James, this track is very flat, and tonight's track temp is very, very high. Are you noticing any difference in your car's handling? Is it loose? Is it tight exiting those turns? Because we have noticed a lot of drivers are getting sideways exiting turn 2 most of the time.
For me, it's handling perfect. I have no complaints at all. It's just how I like it.
Oh, copy that, James. Well, James, we are going to let you get back to the driver's seat. You're currently in the race lead after starting in 10th place. So we do hope that your strategy works out in your favor. And the best of luck to you, and see you at the end of the race, hopefully, buddy.
Thank you.
Well, that was the 1 of James O'Brien, our current race leader and last season's champion. And right now he's currently in the race lead, and looks like we're going to be 1 to green this time by, and yes, we are. He is controlling this restart. He does have the 8 of Justin Michael starting in 2nd place, the 24 of Corey Blevins in 3rd place, 2nd place in the bottom lane, the 14 of Paul D. Johnson in 4th place, 2nd place on the outside, the 27 of Danny Duchesne in 5th place, 3rd place in the bottom lane. As they do exit turn number 2 on the backstretch, they bunch them up nice and tight. Looks like the pace speed is 55 miles an hour. So far, we have the 6 of Mattox a lap down, 78 of Ronald McManus 2 laps down, the 3 of Dale Robertson 2 laps down, the 18 of Travis Browder 3 laps down, and the 16 of Curtis Aho with some heavy damage in 32nd place, 4 laps down, but he is still out there racing to get as many points as possible. Unfortunately, the 3 of Dale Robertson just disconnected, retiring for the night. The pace car is off. The 1 of James O'Brien puts it down. The 8 of Justin Michael caught off guard. So the 27, so the 24 of Corey Blevins. Actually, Corey Blevins got a better start than the 8 of Justin Michael. They're going to be side by side here into turns 1 and 2. They almost made contact, but they were able to keep it off each other. And right now, they're still side by side exiting turn 2. But the 8 of Justin Michael does seem to have the preferred race line exiting turn 2, and he does clear 24 of Corey Blevins. And that 14 of Paul D. Johnson is currently in 4th place. A little bit of a left rear curve in his left rear Ford Mustang, but he is still going strong. So much side by side going on. 654 of Josh Conker, 911 of John Lubboff side by side here, entering turns number 1. The 911 of Lubboff backs it up here under braking and keeps it behind the 654 of Conker, most likely to set him up for the exit. Looks like the 654 of Josh Conker did a great job exiting turn number 2, not leaving any room for the 911 of Lubboff to take it away from him. Looking further back there, the 7 of Dallas Pataska is battling side by side of the 95 of Jeffrey Ford, who is being overtaken by both the 7 of Pataska and the 5 of Jason Ashby. They almost made contact, but they're able to keep it off each other as well. The 10 of Lance Marsh trying to buy the 21 of Trevor White. Right now, go back to single file as the 4 of Sammy Holmes side by side of the 10 of Lance Marsh tosses to his inside line, entering turn 3. He makes that pass successful in the 10 of Lance Marsh, and looks like he just bumped himself up into, looks like that's 14th place. Well, Dave, from what I've seen so far, these guys are trying their best to take advantage of those new tires. Once they get those new tires, they are pushing it to try and get as many positions as possible before those tires go away.
Yeah, most definitely they're trying to take advantage of it here, as we've got 97 laps remaining here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
And going back up front to our current race leader, the 1 of James O'Brien, still able to hang on to that race lead. He does have a 7 of Justin Michael right behind him, and the gap in between them seems to have been was 0.4 seconds, but now the caution is out. Let's see who was involved in that. 27 of Danny Duchesne in the grass. Let's see who else was involved. Looks like that was pretty much it.
Well, as we are looking at our Dre Broadcasting Network instant replay here, focusing on the 27 of Danny Duchesne, as it looks like he is coming through the turns here, all single file, just waiting to see exactly what happened, what got him. It looks like he just broke loose there on the exit of the turn, got him into the grass. No other cars were collected, and he was able to keep it off the wall.
That was definitely a great save by the 27 of Danny Duchesne. He has no scratch whatsoever on that machine. Oh, actually the front end is damaged. And just like you said, he had kept it off the wall. So by the looks of it, he had an earlier incident that gave him a little bit of a scratch on the front end of that Ford Mustang. And going back up front, we do have the 1 of James O'Brien leading everybody down a pit road this time. But we do have a few drivers staying out, and one driver is 14 of Paul D. Johnson right behind the pace car. And Paul D. Johnson is going to be our new race leader this time by, and he does have the 4 of Sammy Holmes right behind him. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to interview the 14 of Paul D. Johnson, our new race leader. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have the 14 of Paul D. Johnson up here with us. You got a copy there, Paul?
Hey, what's up?
Nothing much. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, doing well. Just came off the 24-hour race, so nice and tired.
Oh, I can only imagine, Paul. You went from the road courses, just wheeling that thing left and right, to turning left on this flat track. That's even a lot challenging since it's flat and has no banking whatsoever. And tonight, Paul, you started in 16th place and was able to lead a couple of laps there, or were able to lead a couple of laps there, and now went down pit road. Tell us about your race so far, buddy.
It's been running fine. Main thing, it's been when people are spinning, slowing down. I got rear-ended a little bit there by Danny. Right there, I had 7 seconds optional, so it was not much. Trying to avoid one, but staying out of the wrecks, and I mean, just staying on the wrecks and running decently consistently is how I got to the front. I did want to lead a lap there, so just to get the points. There's still a lot of race left, so I figured I would jump in there and lead a lap and then go pit.
Oh, 10-4, Paul. That was a very, very good strategy. Getting that point, and that point will make a difference in the long run in case you have some bad races or racing for the championship, as you did a great job last week with your teammate, the 16 of Curtis Aho, racing for Big D's Racing. And Paul, we've noticed a couple of guys in here, actually almost more than half the field is getting loose exiting turn 4. Are you having the same problem?
No, I'm not. I'm really not. But I'm backing down the corners a lot. I'm letting the car bite really hard before I get into it. So I might be a little slower off the corner, but I'm really safe. And I think in the long run, the tires are going to be a lot better. I don't know for certain. We have to get a long run in, but I'm being really trying to be really safe, nice and smooth, and stay out of trouble.
Oh, copy that, buddy. Well, Paul, you are now 1 to green here, currently being shown in 21st place, but no doubt you will be up front in no time, because you did go from 16th into the lead in no time. So good luck to you, buddy. You make us proud.
All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for the broadcast.
So that was the 14 of Paul D. Johnson, but going back up front, we are 1 to green, the 1 of James O'Brien. Actually, 6.54 of Josh Conker in the lead. The 7 Justin Michael right behind him, the 1 of James O'Brien leading the outside with the help of the 24 of Corey Blevins this time by. The pace car is off. The green flag flies. 6.54 Conker puts it down. The 1 of O'Brien, the 8 of Justin Michael see it coming. 8 of Justin Michael caught slipping quite a bit. The 1 of James O'Brien is going to propel past him, but they're going to be side by side into turns number 1. 8 of Justin Michael gets loose entering turn 1, but is able to hang on to it. Their caution is out. Looks like we might have had a bad restart there. Let's see who was involved. I cannot seem to find what might have been the cause of that caution. Dave, do you see anything?
No, Sean, I'm unable to find the cause of that caution. It may be about some debris on the raceway, so the admins may have extended the caution.
Oh, actually, Dave, looks like I did find it here. We do have 41 of Chris Perez. Looks like they had a big checkup on the restart, and everyone behind them did not see, because these things do not have any brake lights. And the 41 of Chris Perez was caught in the crossfire, and everybody just rear-ended in the 4 of Sammy Holmes, the 22 of Jack Price, who had nowhere to go, and just smacked into the back of him. Oh, that is very, very unfortunate for all the drivers involved, especially the 41 of Chris Perez. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick commercial break real quick so we can get more refreshments and more popcorn. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the third race of the PRL United Armed Services Oval Series, sponsored by the 092 of Dean Stone from Walkabout Motorsports. And tonight's race is the Tim Budweiser 135 by the 5 of Jason Ashby. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is lap number 49, and we do have the 654 of Josh Conker, a driver who was involved in an early incident early on in the race lead, and right behind him is the 1 of James O'Brien. Well, these guys have about, looks like they have 8 laps on their tires, and the guys who pitted in go by the 22 of Jack Price, 28 of Eric Roberts, the 13 of Jean-Francois Champagne, 11 of Brandon Massey, the 4 of Sammy Holmes, 092 of Dean Stone. All these drivers have about 1 to 2 laps on their tires as they just pitted in, but everybody else ahead of those drivers still have 8 laps on those tires. By the looks of it, Dave, these guys are still just pretty much staying out to try. They're pretty much all even because none of them have pitted in here in the top 10.
Yes, we're almost getting close to the halfway mark there, Sean. These guys are trying to play a little pit strategy here. We quite haven't been able to get a real long green flag run, but I expect we're going to start seeing some here very soon.
Oh, absolutely, Dave. And this track, Dave, is very, very tricky for these guys, especially since the track temp is very, very high tonight. That means these guys are going to be getting loose, and those tires are going to be going out in no time, and they don't have any banking whatsoever to help these cars turn in those turns. So it's all up to the drivers, and usually what brings up the cautions is difference in braking points, because these things don't even have any brake lights, so it's difficult to tell when a driver is braking. Just like we had seen the 22 of Jack Price and the 87 of Justin Michael with different braking points, and that did bring out a caution. But going back up front, we do have these guys back to 1 to green, going green again, this time by being led by the 654 of Josh Conker, the 1 of James O'Brien leading the outside in second place, 87 of Justin Michael in second place, in the bottom lane in third place, second place in the bottom lane, 24 of Corey Blevins starting in fourth place, second place on the outside.
Looks like the pace car is off. The 654 of Josh Conker gets on the throttle, but the 87 of Justin Michael was ready, but so was the 1 of James O'Brien. As it looks like our top 3 are going single file here. Is the 1 of James O'Brien is looking to get to the back bumper of Conker. The 87 of Justin Michael is trying to keep the 24 of Corey Blevins behind him. As the 24 of Corey Blevins and the 66 of Charles Paradas make contact, but we stay green flag racing here as the 1 of James O'Brien is making his move on the inside of Josh Conker here in turn number 4.
The 1 of James O'Brien makes the pass successful in 654 of Conker and takes the race lead back here on lap number 52 and bumps 654 of Conker into second place, while the 87 of Justin Michael is now in third place all over the back bumper, the 654 of Conker. The 5 of Jason Ashby being challenged side by side of the 911 of John Leboeuf exiting turn 2. He's going to hang on to it and gets past the 911 of John Leboeuf once again. And we have further back in the pack at 21 of Trevor White trying to battle the 10 of Lance Marsh. And right now Lance Marsh is running the defensive, but on the inside line, where the 21 of Trevor White is trying to occupy the outside to make the pass from the outside. And they, just like they had pointed out, like some Justin Michael, it's very, very difficult to make a pass on this track. So these guys have to set it up correctly in order to be able to make it.
Yeah, most definitely here usually on these 1 mile tracks, it is kind of difficult to make, but unfortunately here you have multiple racing lines here at New Hampshire, so these drivers can kind of play around, move up and down the track to find that faster line.
And Dave, we have a battle for second place between the 654 of Conker and the 87 of Justin Michaels. The 87 of Justin Michaels is able to take back second place and bumps the 654 of Conker back into third, but 654 of Conker does the over and under exiting turn 2. He's going to stay side by side, 87 of Justin Michael entering turn 3. Oh, they make contact. The 654 of Conker still holding on to it, and so is this 87 of Justin Michael. He's going to hang on to second place and bumps the 654 of Conker back into third place and makes him clear, or clears him across the start-finish line. Well, Dave, since the 87 of Justin Michael and 654 of Conker were battling, the 1 of O'Brien did pull away and the caution is out. Let's see who was involved in that one. Oh, looks like the 13 of Jean-Francois, heavy smoke. Sammy Holmes in pit road went over the the barrier. Looks like it involved both the 4 of Sammy Holmes and the 13 of Jacques Francois.
Well, as we look at our chopper view here, focusing on the 13 of Jean-Francois Champagne, looks like he just made some contact with the 13, and then that got him into the 4, and the 13 just kind of pushed the 4 over the barrier wall into pit road.
Well, Dave, that was definitely an unscheduled pit stop by the 4 of Sammy Holmes, and most likely did get a penalty for unsafe pit entrance. Due to that, that's very unfortunate for both drivers involved, for actually all drivers involved, and unfortunately the 4 of Sammy Holmes has retired for the night. Unfortunately, that did end his night early. And going back up front, we do have the 1 of James O'Brien staying out. Nope, he's gonna lead everybody down pit road this time by. I am curious to see if anyone stays out, and we do have a couple of drivers staying out, and one of the drivers, the 10 of Lance Marsh, is going to become our new race leader here on lap number 57. One driver getting the lucky dog going around the pace car, that's the 41 of Chris Perez. That was a great job by him. That Chevy Camaro is beat up, but he's still getting the job done, and he's still out there to gain as many points as possible. He's currently being shown in 26th position, 1 lap down, but he just got his lap back, so that was definitely some great driving on his part. And Lance Marsh is our current race leader, but it's not showing it yet. It hasn't yet updated. He does have the 60 of Cotton Lane right behind him, and Cotton Lane as well does have some heavy rear end damage in the Ford Mustang. The 8 of Stephen Aguiar is in 3rd place, and the 16 of Curtis Aho is in 28th place, going down pit road this time by. Looks like Josh Conker is now back in 5th place. Looks like you're trying to get a race interview in with Josh Conker. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have the 654 of Josh Conker up here with us. Got a copy there, Josh?
Yeah, I got you, Sean.
How you been tonight, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I am doing good too, thank you. Well, Josh, we did notice early on that you ended up getting sideways into turn 3 after making contact with the 22 of Jack Price, and that did put your rear end first into the wall, and you still have a little bit of left rear damage to show for it. Tell us about your race so far, buddy, from your perspective.
I think it's been pretty good. I mean, it's definitely been better than the past 2 weeks, so I'm just trying to stay clean for the next couple of laps and see what I can do.
Oh, copy that, Josh. And Josh, that damage does seem to be a little bit bad from our perspective, but on your end, is it affecting you any?
It's not really affecting me too bad. I just wish my pit crew wasn't so lazy they would have fixed the whole thing. But other than that, it's not really affecting me too much. I can keep with James and Justin.
Oh, 10-4, Josh. Well, Josh, you are a great driver and you have a lot of determination, and with that, you're very, very fast tonight as well. So no doubt you will be in the top 3 by the end of tonight's race. But we are going to let you get back to the driver's seat, buddy. Make us proud, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was a 654 of Josh Conker, currently in 5th place, 3rd place on the bottom lane. And we are now 1-2 green, being led by the 10 of Lance Marsh with the 8 of Aguiar right on his rear end. The pace car is off. The 10 of Marsh puts it down, immediately jumps to start, catches everybody off guard. The 60 of Cotton Lane on the gas pedal. The 24 of Corey Blevins on his right behind him. And the 24 of Blevins did take 3rd place. Did they make contact? It's just might get in 24 of Blevins and puts him sideways into turns number 1 and 2. Looks like the caution is gonna fly.
As we go back here and look at the Dre Broadcasting Network replay, we are going to focus on the 24 of Corey Blevins there, as it looks like the 87 of Justin Michael just ever so slightly made contact with that rear, and he was pushed, got spun around, made contact with the 8 of Stephen Aguiar. Doesn't look like any other cars were involved, and only minor damage.
Absolutely, Dave. That is very, very unfortunate for all drivers that were involved, especially that 24 of Corey Blevins. And just like you said, the 8 of Aguiar had nowhere to go and got caught in that crossfire. Almost hit that left wall, but was able to keep it out of that wall. Going back up front right now, we still have the 10 of Lance Marsh in the race lead, with the 60 of Cotton Lane right behind him. And Cotton Lane does have some front end damage and also rear end damage as the 10 of Lance Marsh pits in, and 60 of Cotton Lane decides to stay out, and so does most of the entire field. But we do have one driver following the 10 of Lance Marsh, and that is the 8 of Stephen Aguiar, 11 of Brandon Massey, 22 of Jack Price, 28 of Eric Roberts, 24 of Corey Blevins as well. And so far we've had, looks like about 3 drivers have an early night tonight, and also the 18 of Travis Brother, unfortunately, being one of the drivers. Daryl Robertson, Sammy Holmes, and also Jacques-Francois Champagne. The 16 of Curtis Aho gets the lucky dog this time by going from 2 laps down back to 1 lap down here on lap number 26. Actually, he's in 26th place, not lap 26. This is lap 60 on his part, and he's in 26th, and gonna be 1 lap down. That was a great job by him. And looking at the 60 of Cotton Lane, like I had said, he does have some rear end damage and also some front end damage as well, but more rear end damage than front end damage. Just hope it's not going to affect him too much, but by the looks of it, it's not affecting him at all because he is our current race leader. Also, 654 of Josh Conker is still doing a great job. Is now in 3rd place behind the 87 of Justin Michael. His biggest goal right now is to keep up with the 87 of Justin Michael and also the 1 of James O'Brien, who is currently in 6th position. And currently I'm showing only 25 drivers on the lead lap, and all those drivers a lap down or more do include the 16 of Curtis Aho, who just got the lucky dog, so he's now back to 1 lap down. 13 of Jacques-Francois Champagne unfortunately has an early night, retired for the night. The 4 of Sammy Holmes being one of the drivers retiring as well. 78 of Ronald McManus is still out on the track, 17 laps down in 29th place. That Chevy Camaro is out there. He does have some heavy front end damage, but he's still out there to gain as many points as possible. The 6 of Steven Mattox is on pit road, 30 laps down in 30th place. The 3 of Daryl Robertson retiring for the night, and so is the 18 of Travis Browder. And going back up front, Dave, we are back to 1 to green, our race leader, who is controlling this restart, the 60 of Cotton Lane. He's on Justin Michael leading the outside, 654 of Conker, 2nd place in the bottom lane, and the 5 of Jason Ashby, 2nd place on the outside in 4th place. The pace car is off, the 60 of Lane puts it down, immediately jumps to start. The 87 of Justin Michael almost sees it coming, but not quite. The 654 of Conker side by side with the 5 of Jason Ashby. 87 of Justin Michael drives way high into turns number 1 to be side by side with the 60 of Cotton Lane. He's going to make the pass successfully here, exiting turn number 2 here on the back straightaway. Well, Dave, that's very, very impressive on the 87 of Justin Michael, because that outside line is not the best place to make the pass. Basically, it's very, very difficult to make a pass on the outside line. .654 of Josh Conker gets past the 60 of Cotton Lane. Cotton Lane just went from 1st place into 3rd place in less than 2 laps. Battle going on for 6th position between the 1 of James O'Brien and the 95 of Jeffrey Ford side by side, exiting turn 2. 95 of Ford backs it down to avoid drifting up into the 1 of James O'Brien, but he does have a battle right behind him as well, between the 911 of John Lubbock and the 66 of Charles Paradis. Behind Charles Paradis is the driver we haven't spoken much of tonight. He's a new driver to the series, doing a great job. That's the 40 of R&R Groskov, side by side with the 7 of Dallas Pataska, who is a new driver as well. But unfortunately, he was involved in an early incident. 66 of Charles Paradis side by side with the 911 of John Lubbock. Entering turn 3, the 66 of Charles Paradis tosses it into the inside of the 95 of Jeffrey Ford. That is a battle for 6th position. They stay side by side, neck and neck. Let's see who has 6th position. That gives it to this 95 of Jeffrey Ford, who led that by a nose hair. That 66 of Charles Paradis makes a pass success for the 95 of Jeffrey Ford, who went sideways into turns number 1. Big wreck, exiting turn 2.
Well, as we are going to go back here, we are going to focus on, I do believe that was the 95 of Jeffrey Ford here, to see exactly how that happened and what happened here. As we are watching the replay, it looks like he is on the outside of the 66 machine. It looks like the 7 just comes up, ain't able to get slowed down. 95 Jeffrey Ford goes out. Oh, and makes contact with the 45 of Eddie Hawks, the 092 of Dean Stone, the 55 of Kirsten Quinton is also involved. Highly unfortunate. That's some of our fast drivers there. These drivers are trying to get their cars spun back around and going straight.
And Dave, some bad luck for the 55 of Kirsten Quint. He was smoking heavily going down pit road. And Dave, that is going to be a lot of repairs needed by his pit crew. A lot of work needs to be done by his pit crew. But right now he is taking 4 tires.
Well, Sean, looks like almost everybody is coming down pit road. The 40 of Aaron Groskopf is going to stay out and lead a lap.
That's definitely a very good strategy on his part. He did start in 28th place with no qualifying time, and is now going to be a new race leader. 16 of Curtis Aho got the wave around and is now back on the lead lap. That was some great driving on his part, Dave, because he just went from, I believe, 3 to 4 laps down back to on the lead lap here on lap number 69. Oh, Dave, the 45 of 80 Hawks is going sideways on the track as we speak. Looks like he's trying to crawl down to pit road or down to go on to pit road. That's very, very unfortunate for him, Dave.
Yeah, hopefully he has, I'm not sure if these guys are running any backup cars, but looks like his pit crew is going to have some work to do to try to repair that car.
Absolutely, David. Unfortunately, they don't have any backup cars. So yeah, that is a lot more work for those pit crews, and he's able to make it down onto pit road into his pit stall, and the service begins.
Well, Sean, it looks like the 40 of Aaron Groskopf and the 9 of Austin Moore all have stayed out. Also, the 16 of Curtis Aho has not came down pit road yet. Looks like everybody else has pitted.
And Dave, speaking of Aaron Groskov and also Austin Moore, these two drivers you mentioned, since they did stay out, they do have 15 laps on their tires. And let's see who else. The 8 of Steven Aguiar in 3rd place. Like you had mentioned, he has 9 laps on his tires. Well, everybody else has less than 3 laps on their tires. So Dave, that's a very, very big disadvantage. If we don't go 1 to green, we are going to be interviewing the 40 of Aaron Groskov. Looks like we are now 1 to green, and the 40 of R&R Groskov is leading this restart. He does have some assistance from the 8 of Steven Aguiar. And the 9 of Austin Moore leading the outside line. The 7 of Justin Michael, 2nd place on the outside in 4th place. And the 9 of Austin Moore does have some damage on the left front and right rear of that Toyota Camry. these guys get ready for this restart. Pace speed is 55 miles an hour. And the two leaders, actually the top three drivers do have a very big disadvantage on this restart.
Yeah, most definitely with staying out on older tires and everybody behind them being on newer tires. This restart is going to be interesting as the pace car brings them out of turn 4, dips out and in. The 40 of Aaron Groskopf gets hard onto that throttle as he gets a good jump here coming into turn number 1. Looks like the 9 of Austin Moore is running good on that outside, but the 8 of Stephen Aguiar is making a move to the inside. The 87 of Justin Michael sticks his nose in there. Oh, gets sideways and spins out and brings out another caution. As we go back to our instant replay here, we are going to focus on the 87 of Justin Michael. It looked like that car just broke loose on him and had nowhere to go as he was in front of everybody. And bring out the caution here as I'm checking. Yeah, it looks like he just broke loose on turn 2 there. That's going to collect the 60 of Colton Lane. The 27 of Danny Duchesne. The 24 of Corey Blevins got some damage, but it looks like almost everybody else is going to be able to get around him. But he has got heavy damage as he is driving sideways, just like we saw Eddie Hawks there on the track.
Absolutely, Dave. That is very unfortunate for all those drivers involved, and it's going to be quite the time. It's going to be a tough time for that pit crew to try and get that damage fixed. Let's hope they have enough time for him to get out there and still stay competitive, or at least try to put down a couple of lap times in order to avoid going even more laps down. That's the 45 of Eddie Hawks right now is still on pit road, getting that damage fixed, and is being shown 4 laps down in 25th. Absolutely, Dave. It's going to be very interesting to see what his strategy is going to be. But right now, he's still in the race lead. He's being shown with 19 laps on his tires. The same with the 9 of Austin Moore, while the 8 of Stephen Aguiar has, looks like that's 6 laps less on his tires, which is 13 laps compared to the 2 other drivers I mentioned, the 40 of Groskopf and the 9 of Austin Moore. But everybody else has 6 laps on their tires, except for those drivers who just pitted in, the 16 of Curtis Aho and the 60 of Cotton Lane. And we are going to interview the 40 of Aaron R. Groskopf. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have our current race leader, the 40 of Aaron R. Groskopf. Get a copy there, Aaron.
Yes, sir, I got you.
How you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. Tough race, a lot of cautions. This is a kind of race that's going to take a lot of driver patience. And just so happened the pits worked out for me and I was able to work my way up to the front.
Absolutely, Aaron. You did do a great job. You did start in 28th place. And you're currently the race leader, but you do have about 20 laps on your tires. It's like you said, you were able to work your way up to the front. Just like you said, it's going to require a lot of driver patience, and you were patient, and you ended up being up here. And you are a new driver to the series. How are you liking the series so far, buddy?
I think it's good all the way up until a hard racetrack like this will really let you know what kind of drivers you have, and a lot of people are having problems. It's a really good league, though, if you're interested in signing up and joining the other series. Really great league, a lot of good drivers. Just a rough night.
Absolutely, Aaron, and it doesn't make it any easier that the track temp is very high, which means these cars are getting very loose because the tire wear is playing a very key factor tonight. And you guys are now 1 to green. Do you have any strategy in mind at the moment?
Just to try and get up far as I can and hope the cautions fall, if there is any more. Try to stay up front.
10-4, Aaron, continue doing exactly what you're doing. It's working in your favor, and we do look forward to seeing you towards the end of the race, buddy, and good luck.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was our current race leader, the 40 of Aaron R. Groskopf, and we are back to 1 to green, this time by on lap number 77. We do have the 40 still in the lead with the help of the 9 of Austin Moore, the 8 of Aguiar leading the outside with the 654 of Josh Conker on his rear end, going green this time. That pace car is off. The 40 of Groskov puts it down, catches everybody off guard. The 9 of Austin Moore side by side with the 8 of Aguiar for second place. He takes it away from him into turn 1. The 8 of Aguiar tosses it into the outside, goes way deep, goes way wide. The 9 of Austin Moore is going to come back. Nope, he does not have enough time as the 8 of Aguiar did do a great job. He went in there deep, but he was able to hang on to it. 654 of Conker challenging the 9 of Austin Moore for third place to try and take it away from him.
Looks like the 6x4 is going to get to the outside there of Austin Moore and complete the pass there and take over that third position. That's going to move Austin Moore back down into fourth place.
And right now, Sammy Holmes battling side by side with the 66 of Charles Paradis with the 1 of James O'Brien right behind them, side by side with the 14 of Cody Johnson for 7th place. Well, Dave, we have so many battles going on at the moment, and right now the 1 of James O'Brien is in the middle trying to get around as many cars as possible to try and make up as much time as possible. Right now, side by side with the 5 of Jason Ashby. He's got sideways to turns number 1. Oh, he got hard into the wall. That does bring out the caution. By the looks of it, he was the only one who was involved in that one. So that's a great job by everybody being aware.
As we go back to our Dre Broadcasting Network instant replay, we are going to focus on that 1. As we see him coming down into the turn there, running that outside line. Looks like he just got a little too hard on the brakes, got sideways, overcorrected, and went up into the outside wall, but all the other drivers was able to get around him with no incidents.
Absolutely, Dave. That was some great awareness by all those drivers being able to avoid that incident. And going back up front, we still have the 40 of R&R Groskov being shown in the race lead as they are catching up to that pace car. And the 8 of Stephen Aguiar is in second place. 654 of Josh Conker in third. The 9 of Austin Moore in fourth. And the 66 of Charles Paradis in fifth place. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take another quick commercial break so you can get some more popcorn and more refreshments. We'll be right back, so stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Team Budweiser 135, sponsored by Jason Ashby. This is a Precision Racing League United Armed Services Oval Series, sponsored by the 092 of Dean Stone. And going back to the race, we are back to 1-2 green. We do have a 654 of Josh Conquer still in the race lead, with the 24 of Blevins right on his rear end, starting in second place in the bottom, with the 9 of Austin Moore leading the outside with the 95 of Jeffrey Ford. We're going to be going green this time by.
Well, the pace car brings him out of turn number 4, dips down into the pit road. 6x4, Conquer jumps on that throttle. The 9 of Austin Moore looks like he may have spun his tires a little bit, because the 24 of Corey Blevins is going to blow past him here right before turn number 1.
And also, ladies and gentlemen, I forgot to mention we do have a special guest tonight. There's the 4 of Sammy Holmes, who unfortunately had an early night tonight after having an unscheduled pit stop and got involved in a wreck early on. How are you doing tonight, Sammy? Oh, looks like he might have stepped away for a little bit, but going back to the race here, we do have a gap in between the 654 of Josh Conquer and the 24 of Corey Blevins, as the 9 of Austin Moore does seem to be struggling quite a bit, Dave, because that damage is not too pretty after all. And Jeffrey Ford currently being shown here in 4th place. We do have the 11 of Brandon Massey following him, trying to get around him. Once he sees a Charles Burns going to be side by side of the 11 of Brandon Massey, tosses to his inside line, entering turn 1.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to stick his nose in there and take us 2 wide, 3 wide here on the exit with the 95 of Jeffrey Ford in the middle, but they are not able to get around him here as the 11 of Brandon Massey is trying to look at that outside, but just is not able to get around him here. So the 95 of Jeffrey Ford is holding off the 11 of Brandon Massey and the 66 of Charles Paradas as they are battling behind him, trying to get around him, but he is holding his own.
And Dave, Charles Paradis, he's been a very, very heavy contender tonight. He's been just pretty much battling. Unfortunately, he did get caught up in a little bit of an incident early on, but that does not seem to be affecting him at all, because he is still putting that hammer to the floor, applying as much pressure as he can, trying to get around his opponents.
Well, Sean, going back here a little in the field, it looks like the 092 of Dean Stone, who qualified 33rd, is now currently running here in 21st here. He is looks like the last car on the lead lap, as we are now 47 laps to go here, as we have had 15 lead changes here tonight.
Absolutely, Dave. So many lead changes. And Dave, looks like we do have the 4 of Sammy Holmes here. You get a copy there, Sammy?
Hey guys, I'm with you now. Sorry, I had some technical difficulties.
Oh, it's so good. No worries, bud. We're just talking about the battle here between among all these drivers. We are having a lot of different battles, and Sammy, we've noticed the track temp tonight is very, very high, so most cars are having a lot of difficulty exiting those turns, going pretty much sideways and having to save it, and most of them are pretty much about correcting it.
Yeah, and you know, honestly, I'm not gonna blame anyone, but I think it's the driver's fault. You know, the track temperature is what it is. Everybody's just overdriving the corners. That's what it all boils down to. They need to slow up, back their corners up a little bit, and have a better entry. And if they do that, they won't have to worry about their exit. It'll come to them naturally. But you overdrive the corners, obviously it's going to push really bad coming off, and that's what's happening a lot with a lot of guys tonight.
Absolutely, Sammy, and I'm pretty sure these guys are forgetting that this track does not have any banking. It's very, very flat, so extra braking is needed in order for them to be able to make it around.
Yeah, correct. And unfortunately, the thing with short track racing is you got to really watch the guys in front of you. You can't really run your line per se or your braking point. You have to brake with the guy in front of you. And if you're worried about making your braking point, you know, you're just going to run into the guy in front of you. And that's happened a couple times tonight as well. So guys just need to pay attention more to the small things. You know, we don't do a lot of short tracks throughout the season, so the very few that we do, you know, it seems to cause problems every now and then. We've had a couple of good ones, but we've had a couple of not so good ones either.
Absolutely, Sammy. And right now we do have a caution, as we had the 60 of Cotton Lane had a bad exit exiting turn 2, overcorrected it and was spun out on the back straightaway. It looks like nobody else was involved in that, fortunately.
Yeah, as we pull up the Dre Broadcasting Network instant replays, you said, Sean, he just kind of drove into that corner there, got a little loose there on exit, and it just kicked the back end around him. He overcorrected it, spun him completely around, but it looks like he was able to keep it off of the wall, except for little back end damage, but everybody else was able to get around him safely.
Absolutely, Dave. That was some great driving on his part, locking it down to avoid getting back into traffic, and also great driving by all the other drivers being aware and being able to avoid him without even hitting him. Going back up front, the 654 of Josh Conker still in the race lead, going down pit road. This time by, will he be followed? Let's see. Yes, he will be followed, but we do have some drivers staying out. 95 of Jeffrey Ford is going to take over the race lead this time by here, lap number 94. He does have 11 Brandon Massey behind him in second place. And looks like in third place we have Josh Conker. Actually, Aaron R. Groskov is going to be in third place this time by. So far, Dave, these two drivers, the top two, the 95 of Ford and the 11 of Brandon Massey, have 25 laps on their tires, while the 40 of Aaron R. Groskov has 13 laps on their tires, and everybody else just pitted in, so they have less than 1 lap on their tires. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to interview the 95 of Jeffrey Ford, a new race leader. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have the 95 of Jeffrey Ford. Got a copy there, Jeff?
Yeah, go ahead there, sir.
How you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. A lot of contact out here tonight.
Absolutely, Jeffrey. You guys are racing side by side, racing really, really hard, and that is showing. And your car right now does have some left front damage and also a little bit of rear end damage. Is that affecting you any at all?
It doesn't appear to be. My speed's still good. I'm keeping an eye on my water and oil temperatures. Everything looks normal right now. I've been trying to make a habit of, when I see something happen in front of me, slowing up as much as I can to minimize damage.
Oh, 10-4, Jeffrey, and it does seem to be working in your favor. You are in the race lead, did start in 15th place with a 30.994, and have been just pretty much battling side by side and getting as many positions as you could without even forcing the issue. And Jeffrey, have you had any bad luck tonight, or it's all good despite all that damage?
Pretty much everything's been racing incidents. I'd say I've been a little bit lucky. There's been a few accidents that's happened right in front of me that could have ended my day, and I just barely escaped.
Oh, 10-4, Jeffrey. Well, Jeffrey, we are glad to hear that, despite you being involved in near incidents, and also despite you being involved in those incidents that did give you the damage that you have, or the little damage that you do have, you're still able to stay strong, keep the race lead here on lap number 96, and are going green this time by. So good luck to you, Jeff, and make us proud, buddy.
Thank you, Sean.
Well, that was a 95 of Jeffrey Ford, our current race leader. We are back to 1 to green. He does have some assistance from the 24 of Corey Blevins and the 40 of Aaron R. Groskov in second place, leading the outside with the help of the 654 of Josh Conker. We are going green this time by on lap number 97.
Should be an interesting restart right here. Everybody's got tires. Everybody's cars look like it's been 250 laps at Bristol instead of New Hampshire, so it should be fun.
Absolutely, Sammy. They do give the meaning to Rabbins Racing, and the pace car is off. The green flag flies. 95 of Ford backs off the 40 of Aaron Groskov. Hope he did not get a black flag because of that, but they are back to green. The 24 of Blevins is going to be side by side. The 40 of Aaron Groskov. They're going to go 3 wide into turn 1 at the 96. The 66 of Charles Price actually is going to put the 654 of Conker in the middle. 40 of Aaron Groskov backs it off to avoid causing trouble, going from second place to about 7th place and back, losing positions this time by. That's very unfortunate for the 40 of Groskov.
Yeah, most definitely. It looked like the 40 of Groskov there kind of jumped that start a little bit. Had to get hard on that brakes to make sure he did not get in front of the 95 of Jeffrey Ford on that restart. But now it looks like the 95 of Jeffrey Ford is making his way to the back as he is been passed by the 24 of Corey Blevins, the 654 of Josh Conker. and the 66 of Charles Paradas, also the 5 of Jason Ashby.
And Dave, speaking of Jeffrey Ford, he does have 29 laps on his tires, while all his opponents, well, most of his opponents have less than 6 laps on their tires. So that also might be playing a very, very key role and affecting him negatively at the moment, because he is losing a lot of spots, just like you had pointed out.
Yeah, I tell you, tires are priceless here in this race. If you're on old tires, it's a struggle, especially when you're leading. The first couple of cars behind you, they got new tires. They're just going to blow right by you after a couple of laps. It's just so tight coming off the corners here. You can't afford to have old tires racing in the front.
Well, Sean, look at this. The 16 of Curtis Aho, who we saw go down 3 laps at the beginning of the race, has worked his way all the way up and is currently in 9th position, battling the 22 of Jack Price for that 8th position spot. So he has worked his way back through the field and from 3 laps down to get back inside the top 10.
Oh, absolutely, Dave. That is very, very impressive. And Sammy, we talked about just how the 16 of Curtis Aho was able to, I mean, he got some heavy damage early on, was on pit road for quite a bit of time, and was, I believe, 3 or 4 laps down, but was able to get all his laps back, and is now back on the lead lap, battling for 9th place, actually 8th place as we speak. So he is a very good example of how these drivers have a lot of determination and courage to finish the race, no matter how damaged they are.
Yeah, the guys have a lot of determination. We have a lot of good drivers and a lot of good guys. Curtis is one of those guys. He's an excellent driver. He has great strategy. And, of course, having all these cautions really benefited him early on to have his incident. Same thing with Travis Browder. Unfortunately, his was connection related. But I'm promising you, if he'd have had no connection issues, he'd have got his 4 laps back by now as well. So, unfortunate. But, yeah, the determination's there because there's an incentive for the guys finishing every race. We have bonuses that we do throughout the season. And, yeah, the guys who stay in the races and finish all the races get a part of those bonuses. As we all know, we have the Dash for Cash races sponsored by Do the NT, and that's one of them. You have to finish all the races in order to be eligible for that. So, yeah, a little bit of incentive for the guys. So, yeah, it's a big thing for these guys to stick around.
Oh, absolutely, Sammy. It does really benefit them. You know, just them having a go in sight, or seeing the bigger picture in the long run of them not giving up when they do have that little damage and not calling it a night, just like you had pointed out. And right now the 16 of Curtis Aho is still trying to get past the 22 of Jack Price, but it looks like Jack Price has either upped his game or the 16 of Aho has backed it down a little bit. It could go both. It can go both ways. The 16 of Aho down to the 60 of Cotton Lane right behind him, and Cotton Lane as well has been a very powerful player tonight. He was the driver who was involved in the last incident there exiting turn 2, but he's still out there trying to redeem himself.
Yeah, it's a good battle. I'm wondering if that damage that Curtis has on his car is not affecting him. You know, you get a couple laps into the run, the tires start to fall off, and then the damage really starts to affect you, making the car tight and things like that. So I'm wondering if that's not playing a role here. It just doesn't seem like he can get off the corner as well as Jack can. Jack's car is pretty clean.
Oh, absolutely, Sammy. So it does all come down to, you know, that tire wear, and just like you said, that damage as well. Like you said, the 16 of Aho does have that damage, and that damage is most likely affecting the ability of the car to turn, because that left rear, you can actually see the tire sticking out, but it's still going strong. And Dave, speaking of Curtis Aho, let's try and run on the in car with him, just so we can watch him work that wheel with the damage that he sustained. As we see right now, he has a huge run on this 22 of Jack Price, but doesn't have enough time to make a move on the 22 entering turn 1, so he just backs it down, and most likely trying to set him up exiting turn 2.
Yeah, like I said, Curtis is a very methodical driver, so I'm pretty sure he's just setting up Jack right now, trying to figure out what Jack's running line is and picking his moves wisely. Should be a good battle between them. Jack's an excellent driver. A lot of our guys are tired. We ran the 24-hour last night. We had about 10 people in that between 2 teams. So a lot of us are pretty worn down running laps. So, yeah, should be an interesting battle here.
Oh, absolutely, Simon. I can only imagine how you guys are feeling running the whole 24-hour series or 24-hour race with the whole team.
Yeah, it was an interesting night, I tell you. It was pretty good for us. A bunch of oval guys that run Xfinity cars and Xfinity or Camping World trucks and things like that, and the A cars to go out there and run the 24-hour Daytona race. And we had the GT3 team finish in 7th, and our prototype team finished in 6th in our splits. So it was a long night, but it was well worth it. And then to turn around and race New Hampshire, less than 12 hours later is pretty fun as well.
Oh, absolutely, Sammy, especially since you guys have to do a lot of braking, turning left and right on the road course at Daytona, and now you're doing a lot of braking here, only turning in one direction with a different car, which is a different beast, or a whole new level of driving.
Oh yeah, the Xfinity cars are a lot heavier than those prototype cars, I'll say that.
Oh, the 28 of Eric Roberts sideways, so the 16 of Curtis Aho entering turn 2, but they are able to hang on to the 16 of Aho. Is going to lose a lot of positions to the 911 of John Lubbock, also the 41 of Chris Perez, and the 28 of Eric Roberts. Well, Eric Roberts coming out of nowhere. We haven't spoken much of him tonight. He did start in 7th place and is now currently being shown in 10th place, and that car looks pretty clean except for a little bit of a dent in the front end.
Yeah, it looks like Eric got into the corner a little deep there and kind of went across the nose of Curtis and caused Curtis to get a little wiggly, but no harm, no foul, just kept it going. But yeah, looks like he got a little deep in there, but like I said, they kept it going, so it is what it is. Eric likes this track. He runs really good here. He's running really good in practices all week, so I'm not surprised to see him up in the front.
Oh, absolutely, Sammy. He is an amazing driver, and right now he is catching up to the 60 of Colton Lane, who unfortunately did tap that wall exiting turn 2 the last lap, but 60 of Lane is catching up to 22 of Jack Price as well, so it's actually a chain effect. The 60 of Lane is catching up to 22 of Price, while the 28 of Roberts is catching up to 60 of Colton Lane. And let's not forget about the race leaders, Dave. The 24 of Corey Blevins in the race lead. Last time I checked, the 654 of Conquer was about 0.7 seconds behind the 24 of Blevins, and now the 654 of Conquer has upped his game and is now only about 0.2 seconds behind him.
Well, they do have a pretty long green flag run here. They each got about 19 laps on their tires here. The question is do they have enough fuel to go the rest of the way? As we are now 24 laps to go. We've had 17 lead changes. We are on lap 112 now of 135 with 23 laps remaining here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Yeah, fuel shouldn't be an issue, Dave. Pretty sure they should have enough to go the distance here. We were getting about 55 to 58 laps on the tank if we would have had a full green flag run. So I think they pitted with, I think it was about 47 or 48 to go. So I don't think the fuel will be an issue here. To be more or less if we're going to get any cautions, and then to see who decides to pit and get some new rubber on their cars, because that's definitely probably going to play a key in the finish here if we get another caution.
And a battle for the race between the 654 of Conquer and 24 of Corey Blevins side by side exiting turn 2. The 24 of Blevins has a bigger run exiting turn 2. Is going to clear the 654 of Josh Conquer. While that did allow the 66 of Charles Paradis to gain some time, but the 5 of Conquer, or the 5 of Jason Ashby, sorry, is side by side with the 66 of Charles Paradis for 3rd place.
Yeah, Josh Conquer, he loves this place. He is super fast here. He really enjoys running here. He ran up front last season quite a bit as well with James and a couple of other guys. Corey, I think, was up there as well. So these guys love it. Jason Ashby was also up here because if you remember last season, this was our first Dash for Cash race last season. So the guys who were involved in that, most of them were up in the front for the whole race. Josh Conquer really enjoys it. I know Jason enjoys the track as well. This was actually Jason's track selection for the season.
Oh, 10-4, Sammy. And speaking of Jason Ashby, he is tonight's race sponsor, the Team Budweiser 135 by the 5 of Jason Ashby from Team Budweiser.
Yeah, he's got a really nice Budweiser paint scheme on that car tonight, too. It's a really nice black and white scheme. Looks really good.
And right now, my biggest worry is for the 95 of Jeffrey Ford, because the longer they go green, the more it affects him, because he does have the most laps on his tires. Everybody else has 23 laps on their tires, while he has 47 laps on his tires. That is a very, very big disadvantage, just like we had pointed out, and it keeps getting nothing but worse for him the more they go green.
Yeah, I think Jeffrey's plan. Looks like he was maybe banking on another caution to be able to even things out a bit. But I don't know if he's going to get it now. Looks like everybody's finally settled in and got the field spread out a little bit and able to get some racing in. Wish we could have got it done earlier, but green flag racing is always good racing, so I'm happy to see it getting done now.
Oh, absolutely, Sammy. And it most likely is because these guys are now used to the way those cars, their cars are handling, and so they can they know better, or they now know how to race against their other teammates.
Yeah, it could be a little bit of that, and also, of course, there's been several cars that have left the race for the evening, so there's a lot more room on the track too. So just a couple of different things going on, and eventually now it's all played into their favor, and they've got some good green flag runs going now. So happy to see, and can't wait to see the finish to see how it all turns out.
And right now we do have the one of James O'Brien being shown a lap down in 20th place behind the 092 of Deanstone, who's been going way strong, even though he had some bad luck early on in tonight's race, and he still has that damage on the right side or right front of that Ford Mustang, and also the whole rear end of the Ford Mustang. It looks like it is affecting quite a bit, but he's still out there putting down some lap times.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle now coming down when we got 17, 18 to go, or 16 to go. It's going to be a battle from here on out to the finish. Unfortunate incident there with James. James is a great driver, very, very, very good driver, and he plans his races very carefully. He practices very hard. Him, Justin, a couple other guys, they're really good at a lot of these tracks, and to see him get turned into the wall there and mess his car up and not be in contention now. It's pretty crappy for him. It's 2 weeks in a row, I believe, for him now, where he's had some pretty rough racing going on. So last season's champ, having a rough start to the season this year, but I'm pretty sure he'll be resilient and bounce back next week at Chicago, and the rest of the season I'm pretty sure he'll be in the mix.
Oh, absolutely, Sammy. He is a very, very amazing driver. And while we were talking there, we did have the 10 of Lance Marsh got loose there exiting turn 2. Unfortunately, fortunately the caution didn't come out, but unfortunately for all those guys who are banking on that caution to help even things out, it did not come out. And right now Lance Marsh is being shown the last car on the lead lap. The 092 of Deanson was able to get around him when he got sideways, but Lance Marsh is regrouping to try and do it again and take back what was rightfully his, which was all those positions he lost.
Yeah, Lance is my teammate, and he was running up front there for a little bit, which is amazing because he absolutely hates this place. Him and I were talking on TeamSpeak during the race and going through race strategy. Our goal was to start in the back and just ride for about 50 to 75 laps and then make a charge. The way the cautions fell, it didn't happen, but it's unfortunate to see what's going on with him now, but I hope he finishes strong. He's a great teammate to have.
Oh, absolutely, Sammy, and by the looks of it, he was able to keep out of most of the trouble out there, but he does have just a little bit of right front damage. That lets us know that he was able to slow down in time to avoid making that damage worse than it actually is. Right now, overtaking the 21 of Trevor White, who does have a lot of damage on that machine, and Trevor White is currently in 16th place and battling the 10 of Lance Marsh, and that is a battle for 17th place. Actually, 16th place, sorry.
Yeah. Everybody's got to get every little point they can get. I tell you, the championship is tight each week, week in and week out. The points they add up, whether it's just leading the lap, running the fastest lap during the race, or leading the most laps in the race, or getting the pole. All those little bonus points, they add up at the end of the season, I'll tell you. Like I said a couple seasons ago, we had the top 3 drivers in the championship separated by 7 points. So getting every little point you can and finishing these races week in and week out is what's going to make the difference at the end of the season.
Oh, absolutely, Sammy. We've seen these drivers all trying to get that extra bonus point under caution to try and get it just in case they do fall short in the long run, and that bonus point just might balance things out for them and work out in their favor.
Yeah, very much good.
We were looking back here at the 10 of Lance Marsh. Corey Blevins has kind of pulled out to a little bit of a lead here over the rest of the field here. As we see the 6x4 of Josh Cocker get hard on the brakes, slide, get up into the 5 of Jason Ashby, who makes contact with the wall, but the caution flag does not fly.
Wow, that was some great driving by both drivers, especially the 5 of Jason Ashby, who unfortunately or unexpectedly got put into the wall, went sideways, but was able to save it. So the 6.54 of Josh Conker, and right now the 7 of Dallas Patuska is trying to take advantage of that position to get past the 5 of Jason Ashby, but he puts it down to get away from him.
Well, Sean, it is go time. We are now under 10 laps to go. We have 9 laps to go here, so these drivers know it's getting towards the end of the race. But the question is, do they have enough to catch the 24 of Corey Blevins?
Yeah, Corey's flying right now. I tell you, it's going to be tough to catch him. Unfortunate with Jason there. It's like Josh just got a little hot into the corner and locked him up. Great save by Jason, though, to keep it going and still in the fight. So it's not over yet.
And right now, the 6.6 of Charles Paradis is trying to catch up to the 24 of Corey Blevins, but he does have the 78 of Ronald McManus challenging him, but it looks like he did back off to let him by. And Charles Paradis has been a very fast driver tonight, but let's just see if he has enough time to catch up to 24 of Blevins, because Blevins as well is not going to make it easy on him.
Yeah, really nice turnout by Charles Paradis. He's a new guy to the league, just joined this season, had to race his way in for a seat. Haven't heard much from him and his teammate JF Champagne. You know, they're good group of guys, yeah, I'm looking forward to big things for Charles this season. Looks like he's starting to make his way out in front of everybody now. First 2 races he kind of was hanging around and not doing too much, but he's definitely showing his colors here. It's good to see the 66 up in the front.
Oh, absolutely, as he drives it way wide here and lets the 59 of David White get past him. And David White as well, we haven't spoken much of him, if any, tonight. He did start in 32nd place without a lap time, so I guess he did start in last place tonight, but he is in 18th place, the first car a lap down, and who is racing for position is the 1 of James O'Brien, who is in 19th place.
Yeah, David's another one of the new guys, been around for about a season and a half now. David's a good guy, races smart, tries to stay clean, he doesn't try to push his car too hard, he only does what he can do. He's not one of those guys that tries to run up to the front knowing he can't go up there and do it the right way or the safe way. So he just does what he can do, and he just kind of leaves it at that. He's not one of those guys that pushes his car too far if he can't do it himself. So another good addition to the league, safe guy. Like I said, always fun to run around him because you know you ain't got to worry about anything.
That is nicely said, Sammy. And Sammy, right now I'm looking at my stats, and by the looks of it, the 95 of Jeffrey Ford did go down pit road 2 laps ago and has new tires. I'm not sure if he took tires, but he is trying to make moves as we speak. He's currently in 20th place. He gets into the 40 of Aaron Roscoe, puts him sideways. That was the different braking point. They both go sideways. Looks like that was the entrance to turn number 3.
Yeah, while that was going on, I seen Jason Ashby get hard into the wall there just a couple seconds ago. Really hard into the wall, got some right side damage, and let the 7 and the 8 go by him.
Well, as we take a look at our replay, it looks like he came hot into the corner here as he was running, tried to go down underneath the 40 of Aaron Graskoff, gets underneath the 11 of Brandon Massey. Looks like the 95 of Jeffrey Ford was making moves there on the fresh tires. Just came in real hot there on the throttle and made contact with the back end of 40 of Graskoff, who was on older tires. That brought out the caution, and that may just be the race.
Yeah, it's a really unfortunate incident. Even with new tires, he pitted under green. Nobody else has pitted. He's obviously a couple laps down. Not sure it was necessary to push it that hard when you're that far down with guys on the lead lap. Just an unfortunate incident. Yeah, but it is what it is. It's racing. Trying to get every bit you can, like I said, trying to get every little bit you can, and just drove it in there. And unfortunately, Aaron was there. Just sucks to have a lapped car, wreck a car on the lead lap is basically what it boils down to.
Absolutely, that was an unexpected turn of events but they are both, I mean, he is a great driver. It was most likely, it was not intention on his part, and he most likely was a little bit faster. I'm not sure if he took tires though, but that was still very unfortunate for both drivers involved. And right now we have the 21 of Trevor White, most likely gonna be getting a lucky dog, either him or the 59 of David White. So let's see.
Yeah, and I just want to clarify, Sean. Yeah, definitely, Jeffrey. There was nothing ill will about that. he didn't do anything intentionally at all. Jeffrey's not that kind of guy. Jeffrey races really clean and smart. It's just an unfortunate incident. He was faster. Aaron was slower, as you said, and just, you know, Aaron closed the door. He was the lead lap car. He had the position and had every right to make the move he did. And just Jeffrey just didn't have time to react. He was coming so fast there with new tires. Just didn't have time to react. Unfortunate incident is what it is, but definitely in no way was I saying that Jeffrey did anything intentional there. He's not that kind of racer.
Oh, absolutely, Sammy. They are amazing drivers here. It's good to see how many. I mean, you have a lot of great drivers, the whole entire field, who do respect each other. They do race hard but clean. Unfortunately, you know, just difference in braking points, like you had said. Didn't have enough time to react to that, and that's what ended up resulting in that caution. And also focusing on the 21 of Trevor White, he did get that lucky dog at the last minute here. Got back onto the lead lap in 16th place, and this thing is gonna end under yellow.
Yeah, looks like Corey's going to sneak out of here with a win under caution. Not the way I'm sure he wanted to do it. He had a commanding lead. I don't think Charles or Josh could have caught up with him, but he had he had a pretty substantial lead. It would have been, he'd had to make a mistake on his own for somebody to be able to catch him, and I just didn't see that happen. Corey's he's too consistent of a driver to make simple mistakes, especially this late in the race. So it's good to see. Unfortunate we're ending under caution. We had a nice green flag run there. Wish there was more. Looks like we're going to end with 13 cautions tonight, which is quite a bit. But they'll clean it up, I'm sure. And our next short track of the season is later on in the season at Dover. We'll see how that goes.
Oh, absolutely, Sammy. It was definitely a rough start, but these guys did clean it up in the end here. And the 66 of Charles Paradis came out in second place, 654 of Conquer in third. And by the looks of it, the 24 of Corey Blevins is the biggest mover tonight here in the top 5. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to interview the top 3 finishers, the 24 of Corey Blevins, 66 of Charles Paradis, and the 654 of Josh Conquer. So stay tuned. We're going to try and focus on the 24 of Corey Blevins, and hopefully we see a smoke show, if possible. We are focusing on the 24 of Corey Blevins as he burns that sucker down. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to interrupt this smoke show, but we do have the 24 of Corey Blevins up here with us. Got a copy there, Corey?
Yes, sir.
How you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing pretty good. I didn't expect to win that one.
Oh, absolutely, Corey. You did have a lot of different opponents, a lot of difficult opponents, a lot of guys to beat out there, and you did end up bringing it home in the long run. You did start in 12th place and ended up finishing in first place. Well, Corey, tell us about your race tonight from a perspective.
Well, first of all, I blew my qualifying lap, honestly. I should have started top 5. And then it was just pretty much pit strategy throughout the race that really got me up front. I had that wreck there. I'm not sure who turned me, but I got some damage there. Got it fixed, and I got back up to, I was running 23rd, got back up to about 11th, and then a caution come out. I stayed out there, got to 3rd, and then I got a good pit stop at some point during the race, and just eventually got the lead, and that was pretty much it.
Oh, 10-4, Corey. Well, I am glad that, you know, despite you being caught up in an incident, going down pit road, having that damage fixed, most likely went to the back of the field. Once you got that damage fixed and was still able to come up out here in first place, and you did say you had a good pit stop there, so great job to you on that. Corey, did you have any problems with the tire wear tonight, or were you good at managing it?
Honestly, I was okay with the tire wear tonight. I didn't think it was that bad. I just was running my line pretty much the entire race. it's really about getting really good entry and getting really good exit. I was beating Josh there quite a bit off the exit of 4, and he would beat me off 2, and it was just a back and forth game of who could really get a good run off the corner.
Oh, 10-4, Corey. You definitely did do a great job, and just like you said, the tower wasn't too bad to you, so it did show in the long run here. You did come out in first place, and
yeah,
you did bring it
points later too. So I'm really excited about that.
Oh, absolutely, Corey. It's been a very hard-fought battle. Daytona last week, it looks like you started on the pole, and I don't remember.
I finished 5th. Yeah, got 5th.
Oh.
So I finished 2nd, 5th, and now got a win. So I'm really happy so far this season.
Oh, 10-4. That does sound very good on your part. And since you're doing so well, what should we expect from you next week at Chicagoland?
Chicagoland? That's an interesting track. So I'm not really sure. But it'll probably end up being tight. It normally is tight in these Xfinity cars at Chicagoland. I would say at least top 10, if not better. Hopefully better, but never know. I might be up there battling for another win. Hope so.
Oh, copy that, Corey, and that is very good to hear. Having high expectations for next week, and once again I want to congratulate you on being the season standings leader at the moment, and also winning tonight's race. That is very good for you, and also having a top 5 last week. Well, Corey, we do wish you the best of luck next week at Chicagoland. We do look forward to seeing you again in the top 5 if possible. We do look forward to seeing you on the pole towards the end of the race, and good luck to you, bud, and have a good night.
You too. Thanks guys for the broadcast. Really appreciate it.
Well, that was tonight's winner, and also our current season's champion, the 24 of season's leader, the 24 of Corey Blevins. But right behind him, we do have the 66 of Charles Paradis, a new addition this season to the Precision Racing League. You got a copy of Charles?
Hey.
How you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing great. It was a great race. First of all, sorry for my bad English. I'm a French Canadian from Quebec City, so I don't speak English really much in my city.
Oh, that's fine, Charles. And Charles, tonight you did start in 2nd place, and you finished in 2nd place. Are you satisfied, or do you think you could have done a better job and finished in 1st tonight, buddy?
Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied because in the 1st lap or the 2nd lap, I've got hit behind by I don't know who. And I got and I started 23 after lap, so it was really a long race because has a lot of wreck, so it was hard to stay clean because I think a lot of people in this league don't understand how to manage this track. It's really a lot of people overtake it. So in the final 40 laps run, I was able to catch a lot of people because of the tire wear. So because of that, I have a really good race with Josh. Unfortunately, we get ourselves 2 times because it's so hard to pass a guy inside in this track. So yeah, I am pretty satisfied because in Daytona and Charlotte was pretty healthy for me, especially in the pit. So I'm really excited for the next race.
Oh, copy that, Charles. I am very, very glad to hear that. And I'm sorry to hear about, you getting caught up in the incident early on. Just like you said, you got rear-ended under braking. I believe that was turns 1 and 2. We did catch that live. You went sideways and most likely had to go down pit road to get some damage fixed. But that didn't stop you. You still came up here and finished in 2nd place tonight. And just like you said, you're very satisfied. I mean, it could have been worse. You could have finished in 3rd place or even further down that list. But you were still out there. And by the sounds of it, Sammy Holmes does have a quick question for you. Got a cop there, Sam?
Oh yeah, I got him. Hey Charles, This question for you, as being one of the new guys to our league, for the outsiders who don't know, you had to race your way into our league. When you sign up for our league, you don't just get a seat, you actually had to qualify to get yourself into one of our full-time seats. You did that in the off-season with flying colors. And so far this season, through the first 3 races, you kind of started off a little bit slow, and here you are now in second place, making your way to the front. What's been your strategy so far with progression in the league, from the first race to finishing in second place tonight? What have you done for the start of the season to get yourself to this point?
Just don't mess up with the pit. I messed up, I think, 3 times in the first 2 races. So we didn't have to pit on green flag in this track. So it helped me a lot because I practice a lot, but not for a long run and for 50 laps. So it's just I think I can be a lot in the top 5, but yeah, that's it. I'm doing a Kimi Raikkonen of myself. I'm doing great. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
And Charles, that is nicely said. Just like you said, your strategy was all about that pit strategy, doing good on pit road and not messing up, and it has worked out in your favor so far. And tonight you did come out in second place. After starting in second place, despite you being rear-ended under braking, entering turns 1 and 2, you being sideways, you made some contact with somebody out there. You got that damage fixed, you went to the back of the pack, and you still came back up front in the long run and was able to contend for second place. Well, Charles, before we let you go, any final words, shout-outs you'd like to give, buddy?
I love you.
10-4, love you too, buddy. Well, good luck to you, buddy, and see you again next week at Chicagoland. And have a good night, buddy.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for the broadcast.
That was the 66 of Charles Paradis, the new driver to the series, a teammate to the 13 of Jean-Francois Champagne. But in third place, we have the 654 of Josh Conker. Got a copy again there, Josh?
Yeah, I got you, Sean.
Well, Josh, earlier we did interview you during under caution there. We did talk about the damage you had, the damage you sustained, and you being able to still stay competitive out there. Tell us any strategy. Did you have any strategy that worked out in your favor once it went green? Basically, what did you do to be able to succeed tonight, buddy?
Unlike, I was trying to keep my strategy from the other races this season, just try to keep my nose clean and be good down the pits, but that really didn't seem to happen too much at Charlotte. So I was just trying to keep that strategy and make that work, and it just seemed to work really well here. I'm just really quick at this track. I love it. It's one of my favorite tracks, so I was just really happy with that.
Oh, 10-4, Josh. I am glad to hear that. And tonight, Josh, did the car meet your expectations, or do you think it could have been better?
I definitely think I could have been better. There's always room for improvement when you're a race car driver, even if it's like in real life or on iRacing. So there's probably things I could have done. I probably could have braked a little earlier going into corner 1 and rolled it better through 3 and 4, but that always comes with a little more practice, and I didn't have too much time this week to get out, so I'm pretty pleased with the result.
Oh, copy that, Josh. Well, I am glad to hear that, despite you not having enough, despite you saying you didn't have enough practice, you were still able to come out in third place. That does say a lot about you as a driver, meaning you don't really need that practice. You're gonna do good regardless. And Josh, what's your goal for next week at Chicagoland? What's your goal for next race?
I'm hoping the race is kind of similar to this, except like without all the cautions. Good top 5 finish. That'd be ideal, just because the way the first couple races have gone. But I'm normally fairly quick at Chicagoland. I'm not the quickest, but I'm definitely not the slowest. So I'm just hoping for a good clean race.
10-4, Josh. That's all you can hope for, and that was definitely some great driving on your part, starting in 9th place and gaining 6 positions overall, finishing in 3rd place. And Josh, before we let you go, any final words or shout-outs you'd like to give, buddy?
I'd just like to thank Ventresca Spares Racing, Low Palm Design, Amsoil, and all my sponsors in real life for supporting me in this. And my good buddy Zachary Vanier, who's actually been watching all your streams. He really likes it, and hoping he's going to get into this soon.
Oh, copy that, Josh. We do want to thank you for the kind words, and also thank your friend for watching us here live on Dre Broadcasting. And have a good night and good rest of the week, buddy.
Thank you, you too, Sean.
Well, that was a third place finisher, the 654 of Josh Conker. Well, David was an amazing race. He had a rough start to it, but then in the long run, we did have a good green flag run that did separate these guys on fuel on tire conservation. They didn't really have to save fuel tonight, only the tires. And in the long run, we had the top 3 finishes: the 24 of Blevins, the 66 of Charles Paradis, 654 of Conker, the 7 of Dallas Pataska, the 8 of Steven Aguiar. These guys did a great job on saving tires, and so did the 5 of Jason Ashby, who unfortunately did get hard into the wall a couple of times, and also made some contact with 654 of Josh Conker, but was able to save it and finished in 6th position. I did really enjoy seeing all those battles throughout the entire track, and this track did seem to be very difficult for these guys to handle, but in the long run we did have a lot of drivers succeed. Like 16 of Curtis Aho went from 4 laps down back to the lead lap and finishing in 11th place actually overall in tonight's race. Well, Dave, what was your highlight from tonight?
Just as you said, Sean, definitely all the battles all across the track. These drivers have raced together. They're good drivers. Unfortunately, we did have a caution-filled race here, but that's kind of expected here on these short tracks. But these drivers are good, and I can't wait to see them rebound next week and put on another great show.
Oh, absolutely, Dave. And also we did have the pleasure of having the 4 of Sammy Holmes up here with us once again tonight. Not happy that you got wrecked out, Sammy, but we are happy to have had you up here in the booth. And Sammy, should we expect to see you next week at Chicagoland? And if so, what should we expect to see from you?
Honestly, I'm on the fence right now about my racing career with the Xfinity cars. I've actually gotten into the F1 stuff quite a bit. At Precision Racing League, we have a bunch of different leagues, as you know, and one of them is a Formula One league, and I've been really starting to concentrate my driving on that. I don't want to leave my teammate in the beginning of the season like this. It kind of sucks, so I'll have to wait and see what happens throughout this week. But overall, if I am at Chicago, it should be a fun race. I'm pretty decent there. I'm usually pretty decent at all the tracks. I usually just use strategy because I'm not the fastest by any means. I usually just use simple strategies on the track, use the cautions in my favor, and then pit strategy usually is what gets me decent finishes. I'm not very fast by any means. I'm a very careful racer in how I race other people, and I would rather make myself slow rather than get into somebody or lean on somebody, if you will. I'm not one of those kind of guys, so we'll see what happens next week. But like I said, my Formula One focus is kind of like where I'm at right now. But we'll see what happens. I love the Oval Series. I love our Xfinity cars. I love all the drivers. We have a lot of great guys, and like I said, we've all become really good friends. So to leave right now would suck, but it is what it is. We'll see what happens. We always got to move up, not backwards. So only way for me to go is up, and Formula One is definitely a move up from the Xfinity cars, no doubt. That car is a handful. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, absolutely, Sammy. We would hate to see you go. You've been an amazing driver in the Xfinity Series. It's full of great drivers, but if you do end up deciding to move up to the F1 class, we do wish you the best of luck. And with no doubt, you don't need that luck, because you will do a great job just as you have done here in the Xfinity Series, buddy.
Hey, I appreciate that, and I appreciate Dre Broadcasting for all that you guys have done, and of course the Precision Racing League, the Oval Series, the managers, the driver council, the organizers, everybody that makes this happen, that people don't see the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. There's a lot of work that goes into this, and I really want to thank those guys for all that they do. Thanks to Jerome for running Precision Racing League and how he does business. And thank you to my painter, of course, Thomas, who the only time I ever get to shout out to him is when I'm up here helping you guys broadcast, because I'm never driving good enough. So I just want to give a shout out to Thomas and all the stuff that he does for me and Lance with all of our paints on the track.
Oh, 10-4, Sammy. We do thank you for the kind words. I also want to thank Thomas for giving you such great paint jobs out there, because your car does look awesome every time you're on the racetrack. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, this was the Budweiser 135 by the 5 of Jason Ashby. And this is the PRL United Armed Services Oval Series, sponsored by the 092 of Dean Stone. And next week we're going to be at Chicagoland for the Jack and Elwood Blues 125 by Daniel Barnett in the 67. So we do look forward to seeing you guys again there, because it's going to be an amazing race. It's Chicagoland. We're going to see a lot of battles, probably more than we saw here in tonight's race. Well, Dave, if we can, let's go over the final results, please.
Well, coming out in first is going to be the 24 of Corey Blevins, the 66 of Charles Paradas in second, 6x4 of Josh Conquer in third. In fourth is going to be the 7 of Dallas Pataska, finishing fifth. The 8 of Stephen Aguilar, finishing sixth. The 5 of Jason Ashby. The 60 of Colton Lane, finishing seventh. The 28 of Eric Roberts, finishing eighth. The 9 of Austin Moore, finishing ninth. The 911 of John LaBeouf will round out your top 10.
And going further down the list, we have the 16 of Curtis Aho, who went from 4 laps down back to the lead lap and finishing in 11th place. Very impressive. The 11 of Brandon Massey finishing in 12th place. The 22 of Jack Price in 13th place. 41 of Chris Perez in 14th place. The 10 of Lance Marsh finishing in 15th. The 21 of Trevor White in 16th place, being the last car on the lead lap. 59 of David White finishing in 17th place, 1 lap down. The 1 of James O'Brien finishing in 18th place. The 40 of Aaron R. Grosskopf finishing in 19th place. 092 of Dean Stone finishing in 20th place.
Finishing 21st will be the 95 of Jeffrey Ford. The 27 of Danny DeShane will finish 22nd. The 78 of Ronald McManus finished 23rd. 45 of Eddie Hawks finishing 24th. The 14 of Paul D. Johnson finishing 25th. The 55 of Karsten Quint finishing 26th. The 87 of Justin Michael finishing 27th. The 13 of Jean-Francois Champagne finishing 28th. The 4 of Sammy Holmes finishing 29th. And the 6 of Stephen Maddox finishing in 30th.
And we do have the 3 of Dale Robertson finishing in 31st. And last but not least, unfortunately, had some connection issues. That's the 18 of Travis Broughton. Also an amazing driver to the series. He is a new addition this season. He did finish in 32nd, 104 laps down, but we should expect to see him next week at Chicagoland. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for tonight's race. This was the Team Budweiser 135 by the 5 of Jason Ashby for the Precision Racing League United Armed Services Oval Series, sponsored by the 092 of Dean Stone from Walkabout Motorsports. And next week we're going to be at Chicagoland for the Jake and Elwood Blues 125 by Daniel Barnett. So we do look forward to seeing you guys there if you be able to make it, because it's going to be a very amazing race from the Precision Racing League. I am Sean Zulu, and Dave ever behind those cameras, also being joined by a special guest once again tonight. We do thank you, Sammy Holmes, and have a good night.